welcome to my channel. You are no doubtedly here for the collab. This is our 5 family favorite WW recipes. This collab is being hosted by Heather over at Heather Rose Up. I will have her link in the description box along with all the other channels that are participating. And I always tell you, your homework is to go see everybody. Go see what everybody, I can only imagine if all of us, I don't even know, there's a good number in here, are giving you 5 family favorites, how many meals you're going to have to possibly explore. Because we're not, let me say thank you, Heather, before I get into the talking about the food. Thank you, Heather, for hosting the collab, and thank you for inviting me to join. So, like I said, in the description box. What I was going to say was, getting to see everybody's favorite meals is exciting to me because we're not adventuresome eaters. We're just kind of plain people. A lot of our favorite recipes aren't even recipes. A lot of the meals that we like the most are just plain old meat, taters, and beans. That is where we get most of our satisfaction. Almost every time, if I make just a plate of, let's say we had hobo supper last night. We had pinto beans, greens, and fried taters and onions. We will always say, you know what? Just doesn't get any better than this. And there ain't nothing fancy or expensive or crazy about it. It's just plain old, we just call it plain old country food. So that is our style of eating, is just good old country food. We like Chinese food, you know, at a restaurant. I've attempted to make some things that it's our style. It's not Chinese restaurant style, but we like it, you know. As long as it tastes good, I don't think it matters if it's authentic. I don't care if it's authentic what I make, as long as it tastes good and we like it. That's what counts. It's food. We're just talking about food. So if it tastes good, eat it. I don't care if it's like what it's supposed to be like anyway. I don't know if this food is supposed to be like anything, but anyway, our family now is just me and David. It was me and David, my daughter Holly, and my son RJ. She is 25, he is 33. Well, she lives home now. They're transitioning, her boyfriend, they're transitioning. She's in college. He just graduated last year with his master's. So they had to come home when he left school. Like I said, they're transitioning. My son, he lives over with his girlfriend, you know. So it's just me and David. Holly and Kyle, they're responsible for their own food. So it's just me and David. And I sometimes struggle with not cooking for a whole family size. Sometimes I struggle with just cooking enough for 2 and then a leftover for him. Now, me and him, our eating styles are kind of like our marriage. We have enough different to make it interesting and enough in common to make it work. That's kind of our marriage. This is kind of our food situation too. We have crossover that makes it work. I cook for both of us. And then we have stuff I eat that he won't touch with a 10-foot pole. I always refer to us, I have always called us Jack Sprat and his wife. You know that nursery rhyme? Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean. Why do you think I'm sitting here in front of you with a Weight Watchers channel? Because I did not care for the lean as much as I cared for the fat. If we have a steak, the best fat on the planet, there's two. That is the fat that is grilled on the edge of a ribeye, and the fat that is fried on the edge of a pork chop. If we have ever throughout our relationship had those, you want this? You want this? If he don't say it, he'll leave it on his plate and come over there and put it on mine. So we have so many things different. We have separate mayonnaise. He's Hellman's like I'm Duke's. We have separate oatmeal styles. He eats it's like wallpaper paste on a plate with a fork. I eat mine sweetened with milk and a spoon in a bowl. So we have so many things. He won't touch a salmon patty. I love salmon patties. There's all kind of things. I can eat ketchup on everything. He's got to be in a mood once every 6 months to put ketchup on a French fry. He's very dry and plain. I like a sauce. I dip and I pour. I like the salt shaker. He does not. I don't salt. If you watch my cooking videos, I'll say salt to taste, or you won't see me add extra salt. I'll say it needs more salt because I salt at the table because he tries to stay away from it. I'm a big beef person, a big pork person. He tries to stay away because of his gout. So we have all kind of things that we are completely separate on our likes and dislikes of food, but we like all the core stuff. And the things that I'm going to share with you today are some of our core main players that, instead of family favorites going back like over our whole, like when the kids were little and everything, it's just kind of where we are. Even though it was favorites, it's mostly David's favorites, honestly, because at this moment in time in my house, he is my family. So when I cook, I always cook with him in mind, and if it's something that he doesn't like, then I make it for myself separately on the side. So that's kind of the way our house revolves around food. Now, when the kids were little, I was just going to tell you, Holly was a cheese on cheese on cheese girl. So we had a buffet, Golden Corral, and she was little and she hardly eat anything. We didn't care. We were the parents that didn't care if she went to the ice cream before she ate anything else, just as long as she was eating, because she just was not an eater. I had to give her they didn't have the, not that I know, the Pedialyte, whatever those little kid drinks are. I gave her Ovaltine because it had all the vitamins and minerals in it. So I made her drink Ovaltine as a little girl because she was not getting enough food to give her what she needed. So we didn't care when we went out. We let her eat whatever she wanted, just as long as she was getting something in her. She would literally go get macaroni and cheese, put nacho cheese sauce on it, and then sprinkled cheese from the salad bar on top of that. That is what she liked. Chicken nuggets. Pretty much she had her covered. RJ, when he was little, whatever I set in front of him, that's what he ate. Didn't matter what I set in front of him, he ate it. Now the thing both of them liked was the chicken leg bones. I don't know if that is a southern household thing or if y'all do it everywhere, but we give our kids chicken legs and we let them sit there and gnaw the bone. I got pictures. Love it. So that is kind of where our food dynamic for our family has been. Now, what I am showing you today is I'm doing something completely different. If you're new to my channel, you don't know if it's different or not, but if you have been with me from the beginning, you know I've never done anything like this before. But we had 5 favorites to share with you, and I was thinking, how could I share those things in maybe a different way? So I've experimented today. My fingers are crossed that it goes over well, that is enjoyable, and that you still get to see a glimpse of the recipe. So I'm not doing a cook with me for 4 of them. 1 I am. 4 of them, I'm just giving you a quick little snippet, letting you see the recipe going together and then the end product. The first thing, and we kind of have a little bit of everything. So the first thing you can consider an appetizer, and that we just call it dip. When David says, I want dip, I know exactly what he's talking about. I have named it 7-layer dip. And that's what it is. I think that's what it's called if you buy it in the store. I know, like in the deli, they sell little tubs of it. It's, beans and sour cream and then your cheese and black olives and all those things. We've been making that forever. Like I said, when he wants dip, that's what he wants. He eats his with tortilla chips. On Weight Watchers, I eat mine with this time I ate it with the lavash crackers that I made with lavash bread, or with the little white corn tortillas, and I do those in my air fryer oven, and then sometimes, depending on what size batch I want to make, I put them in the oven. So I'm gonna share with you dip. Then we'll go to, let's see, what shall we go to next? Let's go to our main course, which is the meat. And this is his #1 all-time favorite meat dish on the planet ever. Never will be another one to top it, unless it's fried chicken. And that is country style steak and gravy. I have said it before, I'll say it again. The man could eat gravy on a shoe. If you can put gravy on it, he's all over it. Give him some mashed taters on the side, he's all about it. So when I was asking him, like, what are your favorites? Because he pretty much likes anything I cook. I like that I have been able to take our favorites and lighten them. I'm not going to sit here in front of you and say that I like it every single way that I have lightened food up, because I don't. I'll be honest with you. I like it the way I like it. The original, I'll use that word, authentic. Authentic to us. Not everybody. Everybody has their own style, you know. But the way that I was raised eating it and taught to make it, that's how I like my food. But on this journey, we have to give and take. So some ways I don't love it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I do, but I can live with it to be able to get that favorite. Steak and gravy didn't really have to change much. We went from drinking whole milk a long time ago to drinking skim milk. So for years now, I have made the gravy with skim milk, and I still use the flour. The only thing is I don't fry it in a lot of oil like I did before. So that's the only difference. It's pretty much the same. I do have a less ratio of gravy to beef broth just for the points. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. One year for Christmas, my mama, she used to do all the cooking. And then it has over time morphed where everything happens in my house. Well, she knows anytime she cooks a meal, there has to be steak and gravy for David. Well, she learned to make it from her mom, and I learned to make it from her, so we all make it the way he likes it. There was one year, all the steak got gone, and she sent him home with just the bowl of gravy that was left, and I'm going to tell you what, he ate every bite of it. I don't even know if he had anything to put it on, I'll be honest. He may have just sitting there ate it with a spoon. So that is our second one, country style steak and gravy. Now on the side, another favorite is okra patties, and this is what my mama used to make. You just take your okra and some onions, your binder, an egg, throw it in the food processor, scoop it out, fry it on both sides, and you're done. Quick, simple, and easy, and very low point. The whole batch, and I had to both the dip, I lowered it by using the fat-free sour cream, the fat-free refried beans, and the low-fat cheese. So that's how we fix that. The steak and gravy, less milk, less oil in the pan. The points on that are surprisingly low considering you're getting beef and homemade gravy. Maybe, if I can remember correctly, 7 points for I think maybe a 4-ounce serving type situation with so much of much gravy. It's in my recipe, but I had to pin the steak and gravy down. To write a recipe, you have to pin down the best you can the amounts. So I did that the best I could. The same with the okra patties. When I pinned it down, it comes out to I think on blue and purple, the whole batch is maybe 4 points. So if you ate every last one of them. It makes like 12 to 14 of them. If you ate every last one of them, you only got 4 points. You'd be sick on your stomach. But you could do it if you felt like it. So that is from Mama. We love those. Especially when the okra comes on in the garden. Yeah, want some okra patties. Then we have our dip, we have our meat, we have our side dish. Then the other side dish, baked macaroni and cheese. You cannot go wrong with macaroni and cheese. This is the macaroni and cheese his mama taught me to make because it's the macaroni and cheese he grew up liking. So she taught me to make it like hers. It's just the old-fashioned, old-timey baked, not the kind that you cook and make a sauce. This is the kind where you just mix your egg and milk together, pour it in with your macaronis and cheese, and bake it in the oven. So I also had to change that because that uses full fat, freshly grated, extra sharp cheddar cheese. My website, I have both recipes because sometimes I'll still make it the old way if, depending on what it is. If I don't want to Weight Watcher it, I'll go ahead and make it the old way. Just sometimes you just need to. I changed it by not using real butter, using the Belvita shreds because they're lower in points. And then, of course, we've always used the skim milk for years, so that, was not a change. That one I did not have to pin down the amounts because it had amounts. So, macaroni and cheese, big favorite. Then the dessert, that's what I'm actually going to cook for you. This is no cooking involved. I grew up, here's another way we were different. I grew up on the old-timey homemade banana pudding where you use eggs and milk and all that, and you cook the custard with your yolks, and you save the whites out to make your meringue for the top. That's what I grew up on. That's the kind of banana pudding I always knew. Well, when we got married, that's not the kind he wanted. I tried. He didn't want that. He wanted the kind his mama made, which come from the box. The cook and serve vanilla pudding. So over the years, that's my banana pudding now too. I have not had an old-fashioned, old-timey meringue-topped banana pudding in I couldn't tell you when. Oh, delicious. Well, the way I have Weight Watcherified it is I use the sugar-free instant pudding and no cook and serve. We like it warm. We like it fresh and warm. So I think I even said in the video, if you want it warm, you'd have to microwave it. But we do like a good warm bowl of banana pudding. Nothing like it. So that's changed. And then the reduced fat vanilla wafers. That is another thing. I kind of, depending on how much money I got for groceries that week, I usually always get Nilla brand, Nabisco Nilla wafers. Those are like the go-to for banana pudding. Now, have I made it with off-brand or Walmart brand or some other brand of vanilla wafers? I certainly have. But, when you have your druthers, that's our druther. So I'm going to make you one of those. Just, break up the monotony. That's how we're going to end the video. So I'm glad you're here. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you did that before you left. And I always say, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll have fun doing it. Be sure and check out everybody else in the collab. Thank you for coming along. I hope you get lots of good ideas. Thanks again, Heather, for inviting me and for hosting this. And enjoy. Now let's make some banana pudding, or in this house, nanner pudding. First thing we start with is, and I'm not making a big old golly-whopping bowl like when the kids was home, because I'm going to tell you what, I made a foot tub full and it got ate, all of it. So we're going to try to scale it down. Start with, we're using the large box of pudding, so just start with 3 cups of fat-free milk. Now, normally we do the cook and serve pudding, but the sugar-free, I can just find the instant, so we're using the instant, but it's the big box. Hold on, making racket over myself. They do make banana instant pudding, but we don't care for that in this. Now I will use it like with the Greek yogurt, and it's fine, but just for our banana pudding we just stick with the vanilla. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, unless you got a Weight Watcher fight. That's gonna be my new motto. Okay, I went ahead and whisked this up. It's just soft set, and that is perfectly fine the way we like it. Now we do like warm banana pudding, that's why we like to cook and serve. So if you want this warm, you have to heat it up in the microwave. I am starting with using this 2-quart dish. Now I have this one already weighed out and on my list in my cabinet door, so I know how many ounces this weighs and how many grams this weighs. So when we get the pudding made, all I gotta do is weigh the whole thing, and then we can tinker around and see how big we want our servings. So I don't know right off the bat now how many servings it'll make, because you know your cookies gonna be different, your banana's gonna be different, so it's not gonna be something set in stone. So the first thing, we just want to just spread just a little bit of pudding across the bottom. And we will start. What I have here is the rest of a box. I measured out 5 ounces of, I left my box over. It's just Nilla wafers. The Nabisco brand. This is 5 ounces of the reduced fat. They're a little crunchier than the regular ones, so you kind of got to be prepared for that. They're a little bit more firm, but if you can get them down in the pudding, that would help. The warm pudding really helps soften them up quickly. So all I'm doing is lining the bottom with how many ever wafers will fit. That's why I'm saying I'm just measuring out this portion, and if there's any left, we'll measure it and we'll take it off of the points. So you can see the bottom is just layered. Now these, I've got 3 bananas over here, and I'm hoping they're not brown inside. But you want a ripe banana, but not banana bread ripe. But you don't want a green one because it won't taste good. I'm sure y'all have made banana pudding before, but this is about our favorite. And this is definitely one. But I have 3 bananas over here because I'm not sure how many I'm going to use. And these are so big, I really don't know how many I'm going to use. Get your little strings off. I don't like to get a string in my pudding. Now, I don't layer these. I just put them on. And we don't want it too full, because we only have but yay much pudding. If it was like making a whole bunch of it, you could just pile it in there, you know. But we're trying to keep it down. We're trying to take it down a notch. Okay, so we're just going to do this 2 times. So I'm going to put half of it in this layer. I'm trying not to get in front of y'all. So put half of it down on top of those. We're going to repeat the vanilla wafers and bananas and top it with the other half. So I'll be right back. Alright, I got my second layer. We're just going to finish it off with the rest of the pudding. And I'm pretty sure I'm in front of y'all. I'll be through in just a second. See what I mean when I say small? This is a small one. That's like a quart. That ain't nothing. We can eat that with our eyes tied behind our back. Now I am going to use the rest of the cookies. I normally hit them side by side around, but I'm not going to have enough to go all the way around, so I'm just going to hope that they line up. Finish out evenly. If they don't, valiant effort. Looky there. I will say one. Now you see these little crumbs in the bottom? This is what you can do. Just kind of crush them up a little bit more. And just do one of these. That way, just give yourself a little decoration. Except that little dark one, we don't want that. And just save it. So I'll give that one to David to eat. There we have it. There is our banana pudding. So let us weigh it and see what we got. So we can kind of see how big we want our serving to be. That is 2466 grams. Y'all know I write this stuff down. 2467. And the bowl, it says, weighs 1354. Oh, I don't even have to ask you know who. If I say her name, she'll pop up. So 3111. Now, this is what I'm going to do when I'm not sure what serving size, how many servings I want that to be, because I can't look at 1,000 grams of food right here and decide, oh, that's going to be X amount of servings. I just can't do it. So what I will do is get my little serving bowl right here. I didn't get a spoon. Let's just use this one. Then I will, oh, you know I do that every time I hit the wrong side. Tear it out, put it in here, see how many. Now, ideally, let this sit to soften up your cookies, but I'm going to go ahead and do it for the sake of the video. Scoop out, I'm going to scoop out what I think looks like would be a good serving for a pudding. Then I will divide backwards. And we like a good serving size. If it's got points, it's going to have points. You know? So, 178. Let me ask. You know who, because if you watch my channel, you know who I always consult with my math problems. Alexa, what is 1,113 divided by 179?
1,113 divided by 179 is 6.2179.
Oh, so that I was thinking, okay, that'll make 8 servings. I'm gonna say 6. I do not split hairs. I just don't. So we'll say 6 servings, 179, 180 grams, 170 in that ballpark. So if you want to like do your, cross and scoop it out that way, we're going to say what I made makes 6 servings. And 6 servings, my 8 servings was 5 points. 6 servings is going to be higher. But if you save your points, you have weekly points, you can make this fit in. There is plenty of ways to eat good all day long and save room for one of these, especially on the weekend. This is not something we eat every day. This is not something we eat every week. This is a treat that when David wants a banana pudding, whoo, he needs one. So this is the way I have found to lower the points. The points in the regular pudding, let's don't even talk about them because I hadn't figured them. Now anyway, there you have it. Now if you wanted to put a little bit of Ready Whip on top, you could, but that is a no-no in this house. We don't obscure the pudding. So there you have it. How many ever point that I'm going to look up and put in the recipe? Bowl of banana pudding.